So good evening to one and all children. Good evening children. So welcome to the e-learning class. Today we are going to learn about China. Already we started the topic in the previous classes. I explained you about the national liberation movements in the colonies, and in the previous two classes we discussed about the China. First topic we discussed about the KMT, and then afterwards we discussed about the CCP. Today we are going to in the continuation of that topic. Today our topic is the establishing the new democracy 1949 to 1954 in China. Okay children, so in the previous class where we stop in the previous one, we stop at the CCP emerged as a major party. CCP emerged as a major party and got control over the rule for the China. And then where KMT party went, after the war, what the KMT party they got? They got the rule or the control over the island of Taiwan. They got the control over the island of Taiwan. That we got it. Okay, so now today our topic is in the year 1949. In the year 1949, we find that the People's Republic of China, People's Republic of China was established. In which year children? 1949. People's Republic of China was established. So what this People's Republic of China they did? They established on the principle of new democracy. They established on the principle of new democracy. So what were the principles were there? The first principle children, it was an association of all social classes to oppose landlordism. The principle was all the social class, rich, poor, especially children in this one, poor, peasants, industrial workers, the trade unions, all the groups they joined together against the landlordism. Already we discussed children about the landlordism, what they did, and about the land reforms. Just after a few minutes we are going to discuss it. That there should be no landlordism, there should not be any owner of the land like this. All the land should be under the control of government. That was the first one. Second one, whatever the economy of China was there, that complete economy was under the control of government. Government should take the decision of all the works of China. Next one children, CCP they started land reform measures. What were the land reform measures children? Already I gave a hint in the previous class called as confiscation and redistribution of land. What does it mean? That is seizure the land of landlords and redistribute that occupied land to the poor people and much more. That is under the land reform measures. Followed by they enact the laws to protect the women rights. CCP was a strong believer that women should get all the rights in the society. So all the rights, they wanted that some laws were made. Enact laws means the laws were made to protect the rights, women's right. And they completely abolished polygamy. What they abolished children? They abolished polygamy. Now you are getting a question that what is polygamy? Children, in the olden times, not only in our country but throughout the world, a system of polygamy was there. Polygamy is nothing but it's a system where one man marries number of women. One man was having the right to marry. What was the land reform measures that were taken by the People's Republic of China? So in the year 1950 to 51, the land reforms measures were introduced in the China. What were the land reforms movement children? So these were the reforms children that we find in this one. Various steps were taken. What are the steps were taken? A class was identified. The class identification of all the people in the village. Class identification. Class identification means what children? That poor class, peasant class, landless laborers, farmers, agricultural workers, industrial workers, a class of the people was identified in all the complete village. Once the class was identified children, then for what purpose the class was identified? The class was identified that if any person in the village if they are very poor, if they are very landless person, so the lands to be redistributed, the lands to be distributed to that particular person. So first, a class was identified. Second one, children, already we discussed about this one, these two words, confiscation and redistribution of landlord's land. Confiscation means seizing, occupying the lands of the landlords. Occupying the lands of the landlords, and that land were redistributed to all the poor people, those who were not having the land, landless people. Whose land, children? It was a land of landlords. So from the landlords, the land were taken and were redistributed. That was a land measures, land reforms. Third one, one land reform committee was made. One land reform committee was made. What was the work of this land reform committee? The work of this land reform committee to set up the peasants associations. To set up the peasants associations, moving in the different areas of China and organizing the peasant into the association. And not only that one, children, in the village, among all the peasant, a very active peasant was selected, and that person was selected as a leader of that particular association. The person should give the correct information about the peasants to the government, and also the person should take care about everything, whether the lands are correctly distributed to the people or not, all the facilities whether people are getting or not. That was the work of that active leader. For that purpose, what they did? They set up the peasants associations, and among the peasant association, they selected a very active leader. Now, then landlords were humiliated under the land reforms movement. Landlords were humiliated. Humiliated means given punishments. For what purpose the landlords were given punishment, children? If the government comes to you and ask you, give your lands, will you easily give your lands? Same with the condition of landlords. For a long time, from their ancestors' time, these landlords were enjoying a very good power, very good position in the village, and they were having a good amount of land, and they were living a very good life. And the government decision is that the landlords, the land should be taken away by the people, by the peasants, should be distributed to the peasant. So landlords, wherever the landlords, they objected in giving the lands to the government or to the peasant association, these landlords were executed. These landlords were killed. So that is only this point, children. Landlords were humiliated, and when landlords were not ready to hand over their lands to the government, so those landlords were killed. So here 10 to 20 lakhs of landlords were executed. Executed means killed because they oppose the government decision of land reforms. Next, the 43% of cultivated land of China. What this peasants committee did, children, land reform committee? 43% of cultivated land of China was redistributed to nearly about 60% of population. 43% of land was distributed to 60% of landless poor people. And then afterwards, what else the other work of this People's Republic of China? They established peasant school. They established peasant school. For that, the peasants should go to the school, should take some education irrespective of age. Adult schools. Irrespective of the age, anyone can go, can take the education and know about their rights. Know about their rights, know what is good, what is bad. As you know that education is the main key for the success. So the peasant schools, adult peasant schools were opened in China. Beside this one, primary schools were also opened in China for both for the adults and both for the children. So according to the scholars, it is find that children that because of all these schools, according to the scholars, it is find that because of all these schools, that is the success of land reforms and the education. According to the scholars, the land reforms and education, it kept the base for the strong China. It It kept the base for the strong China. Because of this only, the China turned as one of the powerful country of the world. Okay, so what are the two reasons behind that one? The two reasons were the land reforms movement and the education. And then what happened? Kuomintang, already KMT party was given one island of Taiwan. So KMT was not intervened. People, they like the rule of this CCP, the People's Republic of China, in that way that they never, what he called, gave the chance to the other party to come. Or in the other way, we can say that CCP turned as a single party, a strong single party in China, never allowed any opposition. So still in China we find there is a rule of CCP, only single party. In some time what happened in the examination, you will get the question, multi-party system, single party system, dual party system, means in which country we find these type of systems are there. Single party system we find in China, and the name of the party is CCP. Since that time to today, we can say that only one party is ruling and taking all the decisions. Every year elections conducted, and in the elections only one party is standing, that is CCP. No one is daring to stand against that party, children. And in the CCP party, the whole and soul, the major powers are in the hands of chairman. The major power is in the hands of chairman. So children, this is about China. So children, we discussed now in this particular topic, since in the 3 classes we are discussing, children, about how Chinese people, they started a struggle. We started our lesson from the Manchu dynasty, from Manchu dynasty to Sun Yat-sen struggle, Sun Yat-sen to the Chiang Kai-shek, Chiang Kai-shek to the Mao Zedong, Mao Zedong to this again after the Second World War, how the People's Republic of China made the China as a powerful country of the world. So this is a struggle stories of the colonies, how they made themselves strong, freed themselves from the clutches of the foreigners, made themselves a very powerful country of the world. I hope this is clear to all of you. In the next class, we'll discuss about the next colony, that is about Nigeria. So up to that time, children, what you have to do is you have to continuously, you have to go for a reading of the textbook. Read one by one all the line of the textbook, because 10th class, it is very important from the examination point of view. And it's the time to leave, children. In the next class, we'll meet about the liberation movement for the colonies, Nigeria. That is also very interesting struggle, inspiration, story of that particular colony. Okay, up to that time, thank you one and all. Thank you.